What is up, guys? We're back again with another video today, and obviously Jinhsi's dropping, so a better time to drop y'all a video on her top 4 weapons. Now, I don't know the difference in the calculations between her auto attacks outside of her ultimate and her intro, so in this video we're just going to be covering strictly her skill and her liberation. So, just to be clear, just skill, liberation, and I'm going to be showing the damage difference in between them and like the percentage difference, right? Which one's better than which. So with that all being said, if you guys like the video, below if this video like change your mind on what weapon you want to like pick up. Maybe you want to grab a new one now that you've seen the damage difference. And if you guys want to see more content like this, subscribe. Feel free to join the Discord. I'm always active in here if you guys want to get in touch and ask any questions or anything like that. And with that all being said, let's get right into the video. So firstly, this is the stat line we're going to be working with. We have 2,710 attack, 66.15 over 132.3. This is a 1-to-2 ratio. That's pretty much as good as you're going to get it. We have a 90% skill damage. We have 42 liberation damage. And we have 100 spectro. So we have 100 spectro and not 130 because we chose the attack. We're running 1 spectro, 1 attack because she gets more damage this way. Because Jinhsi has like a natural 20% in her kit, she tends to hit the soft cap for spectro and get diminishing return. So we're trying to avoid that. So this is going to be her best echo set. And you can see the crit value in each piece. I'm trying to make this as fair as possible for everyone trying to farmer. So on each piece, as you can see, we only have 1 crit stat on the dragon. We only have 1 on both of the 3 cost echoes, as you can see. And one of them is really low rolled, like 15% crit damage on the dragon is like a mid roll because it can go up to 21. We have 12.5, which is an absolute shit roll on one of the 3 cost echoes. And on the bird, we have a 7.5 crit rate, which is like a whatever roll, because you can go up to 10.1. It's like maybe like a somewhat actually a little bit below mid roll. And on 2 of them, we have attack percentage, assuming people can roll 7% attack, which is obviously a low roll. And then on the 2 1 cost echoes, we have 2 crit value on them, but they're both low rolled, as you can see. Now, I wanted to be clear as well. The reason why we have the 90 skill damage is because of her weapon. We also, the turtle, giving us a 10% bonus damage. We're going to be using Verena for this showcase. We're only going to be calculating with Verena because we don't know what type of teams people are going to run. Maybe people are going to go to fast stacking team. Maybe people are going to go to buffing team. I don't really know. And there's no real way to calculate like the fast stacking team as well. It's going to be very complicated because there's a lot that goes into it. I don't know how her rotations are, how quick it is. So we're just going to keep it like this. This is the stats for this weapon. This is Jian's, as you can see. Nothing changed, but like the skill damage, as you see, Jian's weapon doesn't really have a lot because it only gives heavy attack. It's like here's a stat stick. Heavy attack is absolutely useless. We're not using that at all, but it does come with the 12% attribute damage, which helps. And it obviously is a crit main weapon with very high base attack. We're going to be doing the same 30 spectral, 30 attack. Now, this weapon it's going to disappoint a lot of people as well. This shit's pretty bad. As you can see, the attack between this one and the Jian ones aren't that different, or even their main because they're the same. It's 2,710. And on this one, it's 2,774. Now, I know you're wondering, why is it only that? This weapon is giving a 36% attack. It should have a lot higher attack percent, right? Or attack. Now, the reason why is because if you see in the bottom left here, I'm running a Spectro. I'm running double spectro, and the reason for that is because this weapon gives attack percent, right? To get more damage out of this weapon, you're gonna want to run 1 more spectro, because if you have that much attack, you're gonna be getting diminishing returns. So to compensate for that, we drop down a little bit of attack and we hop back down a little bit of that spectro damage just to keep it fair between this and the other weapons. As you can see, the crit value is an absolute ass roll. Well, it's the perfect 1-to-2, but it's way worse than the ones before. As you can see the difference right here, because obviously this weapon does not scale with any crit value, so it is going to be worse. Again, skill, we're just going to keep it at a base 30 because this weapon doesn't give any. The liberation is going to be going up to 51 because of the extra 21%. And then spectro damage, as you can see, is 130 instead of the 100 because we're running double spectro. Same thing, we're going to be running with Verena, with Turtle. And then for the last but not least, the Autumn Trace. This weapon, the crit value is honestly very good. But the attack, as you can see, is really, really low. And that's because this weapon has a very, very low base attack. It has 413. This one has 588. All the legendaries is 588. because this one's the battle pass one and everything. Purple weapon, it only has 413. It does come with a 20% attack buff, and it comes with crit rate main stat, which is very, very good. Obviously, crit value is looking good. Skill damage, liberation damage, all base, just a 30%. Spectral damage, as you can see there, we're running the double spectral because it gives attack percent. We're going to try and get some more spectral on it to try and keep up. 2,131 attack, still very, very low. And yeah, that's going to be it for this weapon. Let's get into the calculations. So, obviously, her main weapon, we're going to let's get it out of the way. It is the Pinnacle. It is strong as shit. It is going to be perfect for her. Obviously, it's made for her. So, no surprise there. As you can see, this is what we're looking at right now. I'll explain it to you guys for those who care about the math. If you don't really care, you could probably skip ahead. But how we do it is we get the motion value. This is her skill right here. Trailing Knights of Eons. This is her skill in the top left. We get the motion value times the attack. This is her crit multiplier. The enemy is on equal levels, so we're going to be doing 50% damage to it because 50% negative damage we're going to be doing because the enemy's on level. You do 50% less. My bad if I explained that poorly. This is the 2.90. That's her damage multiplier. Obviously, she's going to have absolute shit ton because this weapon is cracked. We're fighting an enemy on... all enemies take 10% less damage. That's why we have the 0.9 right there. And we have the deepen. This is from Verena. This is why Verena is here for the deepen at the end, the multiplier. So this is what you're planning on seeing on her skill. Bam, and then you'll see another like 12,700 over here. Now, this is her 4 autos inside her incarnation state. So these are all 4 autos together as one number. I wasn't going to put all that shit on screen, so I just kind of put them all together and gave you it in one number right here. This is what all 4 autos are going to be looking like with her main weapon when you enter her incarnation state. This is her ultimate right here. As you can see, he's going to be doing like 106. Obviously, the skill multiplier doesn't apply to it, so we have to drop it down a little bit. Now it's 2.42 instead of 2.90. So, with that being said, the damage is going to be around this for her main weapon. So, for Jian, as you can see right here, Jian weapon is literally, other than the skill damage bonus, it's like the same. Nothing really changes. They're pretty much the same weapon. But even though they are the same, it is still like, look at the damage gap. It's 81.9, basically 80. It's like 80%. It's pretty rough. It's a pretty rough gap, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, this is what we're looking at right here. 9,907 versus this previous one, which is 11,872. Makes sense. 48% skill damage is an absolute shit ton, and we're not taking advantage of that heavy attack bonus from this weapon at all whatsoever. So there's gonna be a pretty decent gap between these two weapons. And remember, guys, this is based on skill. As you can see, the ultimate down here, or liberation, is the exact same on this weapon. So this 81% or 81.9% is just skill, the difference between the skills, which is honestly like probably is going to make up like 60-70% of her kit. It's going to be doing most of the damage for her. So obviously this is very important. And then it's going to be the same for everything here. As you can see, damage very low, or well, not very low, but it's a little bit lower than the one before. Now, this weapon, it's a bit rough. So the crit value is obviously a lot lower, so we're gonna have to play around that. And then because the crit value is lower, the attack isn't much higher, even though we gave it, because we had to like give it more spectro to make up for the fact that it's lacking spectro. So you can see multiplier 2.60 damage. It is pretty rough. You can see the difference between them. The good thing about this weapon, though, I mean, I say it's good, it's very whatever. It gets a 0.35% more damage on the liberation. As you can see, 106k, 106k, 400. Not that big a difference. It's like, it doesn't even exist. However, this weapon does come with energy recharge, so maybe that energy recharge will help you get to maybe more ultimates, but I really doubt it's going to ever make a difference, because with the rotations, you're probably going to do 1 ult each time. Last but not least, and I'm sure people seen this coming, obviously, 4-star weapon is going to be the worst. And it's pretty goddamn bad. You can see, even though it has a decent crit value, has everything else the same, that base damage is absolutely horrendous. So it's going to butcher the living shit out of this poor weapon. Now, this is all her main, everything else you're going to be doing in her incarnation state. Everything else here, and as you can see, that number, remember guys, all these numbers are average. That shit says almost 200,000 damage. 50 stacks. And remember, this is only with Varina. That is absolutely ridiculous. It is a disgusting amount of damage. As you can see, we do the same thing. Get the motion value, attack. We have the crit multiplier right here. Enemy of the same level, only doing 50% damage. All enemies take less damage by 10%. We have their crit multiplier by the damage bonus right here, and the deepen from Varina. I did do a little bit extra, and I showed the 50 stack right here. We also have the 40 stack over here on the right. So instead of doing, so say you can't get all the way to 50, if you're only getting around 40 stacks, you're still going to be doing 162 goddamn K. So even if you're not getting 40 with this weapon, it's absolutely cracked. And for fun, I did a little bit of shit with Tao Chi here. I was saying if you get to 40 and you're using a Tao Chi, you'll still see 260, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. There's a shit ton of damage. And again, this was just completely for fun. I just figured I'd throw it in here. So if you can't get the max stacks, or maybe if you're not playing the fast team comp, you can use Tao Chi. Just remember, Tao Chi is a bit clunky, and this is just on paper. We don't know how it's going to play whenever the character drops. So we'll figure it out today. As you can see, same percentage difference on everything. It's going to be looking a little bit worse. Only an 82% though, not anything crazy. Same over here. If you guys really want to see the difference, I have all the math on screen. You can just stop, pause, take a look at them yourself. And with this one, it's going to be the absolute worst. So this is the end of the video, guys. As you can see, I'll just give it a last summary of it, my final thoughts. Now, you can come to your own conclusion based off what we've seen here. Remember, this is all based on just the skills, which is like 60 to 70% of her kit roughly is what I'm guessing, because you're going to be using that for like all your damage. Now, if you have Ji-Yeon's weapon, should you pull for her weapon? If you don't plan on absolutely maining this character, and I know I sound like a broken record because I said this in the video yesterday, I wouldn't recommend it. I would say stick with hers. It does stick with Ji-Yeon's. It does more than enough. You're going to be able to do absolute shit tons of damage, as you've seen previously. Like these numbers are fucking ridiculous, even with Ji-Yeon's. It's just you're a little bit less worse than whatever you were hitting before, right? Like you're going to one-shot them a little bit less. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's going to be very good. Now, as for the standard banner weapon, this shit's pretty bad. But I mean, it's still going to be able to clear absolutely everything. It's pretty goddamn bad, but at the end of the day, the character is fucking broken, guys. It's like bad for this character is still better than most, right? It's like, holy shit, look at the damage on screen. 152k is apparently a bad number for her. And even with the worst weapon, it being this much worse, it's still 136. She's going to be doing an absolute shit ton of damage. Even with the worst weapon on this list, you will be able to clear absolutely every single content in this game. And it's not even going to be bad because she does an absolute shit ton of damage. And remember, guys, this video was done only with Varina. Nobody else. No Yin-Lin to stack quicker so you can do your rotations faster. Obviously, I showed a little bit of like a teaser with Tao Chi, how much you could see, but it's like most of the numbers or everything else was only done with just Varina in mind. And remember, there's the Echo set from your sub DPS that gives you the damage. There's the Heron that gives you damage. There's obviously Tao Chi that can give you skill damage. There's Yin-Lin that does off-field help you stack quicker. We've already been through all these comps in yesterday's video, so I won't dig into them too much. And that's going to be all for this video, guys. Again, pull if you want to make her, and that's amazing. Obviously get her weapon, but it is absolutely not needed. Any weapon on here will be able to clear all content. And again, if you guys like the video, comment below which one of these weapons you guys are going to be going for now that I've shown you guys a little bit of that math for it. And subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'll catch y'all on the next one, and good luck on y'all Jinhsi pulls. Peace out.